September 7th, 2020, Scott Walker posted a desperate plea on Facebook for his missing stepdaughter, Bernadette, to return home. What appeared to be a simple cry for help soon turned into a tangled web of lies and betrayal. Each detail of this case hides a shocking truth, and the actions of those involved may never be fully understood. This is the story of Bernadette Walker, a young girl whose silence now speaks louder than ever. The people closest to her, whose actions might hold the key to the truth, are tangled in a mystery that remains unsolved. The truth is out there, but will it ever come to light? On July 18, 2020, 17-year-old Bernadette Walker was last seen when her stepfather, Scott Walker, picked her up from his parents' house. What happened next was unsettling. Scott claimed that during their drive home, Bernadette suddenly jumped out of the car and ran off. He said he tried to chase her but couldn't catch up. But here's where things don't add up. After that moment, there was complete silence. No phone calls, no texts, no posts on social media, nothing. It was as if Bernadette had vanished without a trace. Her family and friends, who were used to hearing from her regularly, were left completely in the dark. The prosecution believes Scott's story is a cover-up. They argue that Scott didn't lose Bernadette. He murdered her. They believe he killed her to stop her from revealing something much darker: her accusations that Scott had been sexually abusing her. As time went on, the hope of finding Bernadette alive quickly faded, and the focus shifted to a chilling possibility. Her stepfather had silenced her forever. Bernadette was a 17-year-old photography student at Peterborough College, full of dreams and aspirations for her future. She was known for her creative spirit and unique style. She wasn't afraid to stand out. With her love for experimenting with bold hair colors and a look that many would describe as goth, Bernadette had a way of expressing herself that made her unmistakable. Despite being a little socially awkward at times, Bernadette formed strong bonds online. She wasn't shy about sharing her passions, and through social media, she connected with like-minded friends who appreciated her for who she was. Photography was her passion, and she was determined to make a name for herself in the world of art. But all of that potential, all those dreams, were tragically cut short. Bernadette's life and her future in photography were abruptly interrupted, leaving her friends and family to wonder what could have been if her story hadn't taken such a devastating turn. July 16, 2020. Just 2 days earlier, before she went missing, Bernadette told her mother, Sarah, about something deeply troubling. She said that her stepfather, Scott, had been abusing her. It was a shocking confession, and Bernadette was hoping her mother would believe her and protect her from the person who was supposed to care for her. But Sarah's response was not what Bernadette had hoped for. Instead of supporting her daughter, Sarah didn't believe her. She sided with Scott, telling Bernadette she was lying. This left Bernadette feeling alone and betrayed by the one person she should have been able to trust the most. To calm things down, Sarah decided to send Bernadette to stay with her grandparents for a while. It was supposed to be a way to ease the tension, but it ended up being the last time anyone saw Bernadette alive. What was meant to be a temporary solution turned out to be the beginning of a tragic turn of events. July 21, 2020, at approximately 3:20 a.m., Bernadette was reported missing by her mother, and the Cambridgeshire police immediately started searching for her. They used drones, search dogs, and divers to look for any sign of her around Peterborough, including open farmland near the village of Cowbit in Lincolnshire. But despite all their efforts, they couldn't find anything. It was like she had disappeared without a trace. What made things even more suspicious was that Sarah, Bernadette's mother, didn't report her missing for 3 days. This raised serious questions. Why didn't she contact the police right away? Why wait so long? As the investigation progressed, it became clear that Sarah wasn't just staying quiet. She was actively misleading people. She told others that Bernadette was fine and even acted like nothing was wrong. This made it harder for the police to figure out what really happened. The more Sarah tried to cover up the truth, the more it seemed like she was hiding something. The investigation grew more complicated as time went on, and it became clear that the truth was being hidden. The deeper they dug, the more it seemed like there was a cover-up. After Bernadette disappeared, Scott's story quickly started to fall apart. His phone was off for 90 minutes during the time Bernadette was likely killed. If she truly had run away, why was his phone turned off during this critical period? Scott claims she jumped out of the car and ran away, but there was no evidence to back up his version. No one saw her, and there was no activity on her phone during that time. It all pointed to one thing: his story didn't make sense. But the lies didn't stop there. Scott and Sarah decided to go further. Investigations revealed that both Scott and Sarah Walker engaged in activities to mislead authorities. They sent messages from Bernadette's phone between July 18th and September 12th, 2020, to create the illusion that she was still alive. They misled her friends and family, trying to cover up the truth and throw off the investigation. Their lies couldn't last forever, though. Despite their attempts to mislead everyone, the police continued to dig deeper. With each lie, the truth started to come out. In September 2020, both Scott and Sarah Walker were arrested and charged in connection with Bernadette's disappearance. The prosecution argued that Scott killed Bernadette to silence her, to prevent her from exposing the abuse she had accused him of. They believed he murdered her to keep her from speaking out. Scott denied killing Bernadette. His defense focused on the lack of forensic evidence, pointing out that there was no body or clear physical proof that he was responsible for her death. Sarah's role in the cover-up was undeniable. She helped mislead the police by sending fake messages from Bernadette's phone. These messages made it look like Bernadette had run away, which delayed the investigation and kept the truth hidden. Sarah's actions were key in the deception, adding to the pain and confusion surrounding Bernadette's disappearance. In 2021, Scott Walker was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 32 years. While this conviction brought some justice, it could never undo the pain or bring Bernadette back. Her family was left with a sense of justice, but no peace. Sarah, his ex-wife, was found guilty of perverting justice. She was sentenced to 6 years in prison for her role in helping cover up the truth. Her actions dragged out the pain and confusion, but at least she was held accountable. Sadly, Bernadette's body was never found. Despite a massive search effort, there was no sign of her, and Scott refused to reveal where he had hidden her. That cruel decision left her family with no closure and forced them to live with the heartbreaking uncertainty of never knowing what truly happened to Bernadette. Scott Walker was convicted for Bernadette's murder, but the case isn't truly closed. He passed away in prison in December 2023. But even in death, he took the truth with him. He never revealed where Bernadette's body was, and her family still has no idea where she is. The Prisons and Probation Ombudsman is investigating his death, but the search for Bernadette's body continues. Despite extensive efforts, including the discovery of her rucksack in a lock-up garage frequently visited by Scott, no further evidence has emerged, and her body has never been found. Cambridgeshire Constabulary has stated that there are no new leads. Bernadette's brother, Anthony Walker, has expressed the family's pain, saying, "I won't stop until I know the answer. I will still keep searching because she's out there and doesn't deserve to be lying in a ditch somewhere." The family continues to search for closure and hold on to hope that the truth will eventually come to light. Bernadette's story is a heartbreaking reminder of how abuse can often go unnoticed and the lasting effects of silence. It shows just how devastating betrayal can be, especially when the truth is ignored and the victim is left unheard. Bernadette's bravery in speaking out should have been met with support, not disbelief. Unfortunately, her story is all too common for many who are trapped in similar situations. If you or someone you know is a victim of abuse, please don't stay silent. There are organizations and people out there who can help, and you don't have to face this alone. Whether it's reaching out to a trusted friend, family member, or a professional, help is always available. Thanks for watching. If you want to hear more stories that matter, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Together we can keep the conversation going.